We will now call the Legislative Committee meeting to order for 10/27/21. Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderman Boyd.
Present.
I'm sorry, that was Alderman Boyd.
Yes, thank you, Alderwoman. I am present.
Wait a minute.
She's helping. Come on now.
Alderwoman Davis.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderman Coder. Alderwoman
Here.
Boyd.
Present.
Thank you, Alderman Coder. I got you, Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Martin.
Present.
Alderwoman Navarro.
Present.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Chairman Vollmer.
Present.
President Reed.
Here.
President Reed.
I said here.
Sorry, I missed that. 11 present. You have quorum.
Thank you very much, Sharita. Okay, with that, we'll move towards the approval of the minutes from October 21st, 2021. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a
I move
motion.
for adoption of the minutes, October 21st, 2021.
I'll second that.
All right, Sharita, please call the roll.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis.
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Aye.
Alderman Coder.
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderwoman Martin.
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Chairman Vollmer.
Aye.
President Reed.
Aye.
11 aye votes.
All right, with your vote, we've passed the motion to approve the minutes of October 21st. We'll hold excused Alderman till the end of the meeting. And we will now proceed again with Board Bill 101. We'll start off with Alderman Boyd. Anything on our neighborhood little committee you're putting together, trying to sort them out? You're muted, Mr. Alderman.
I did receive some good information from all the aldermen that responded via to the mass email. Trying to get all the information synthesized in a usable format.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Alderwoman Navarro, how are we doing with the personnel end of our committee? You and I believe Alderman Davis and Alderwoman Martin are working on that.
Yes, yeah, I think we've made some good progress. I expect to have something to report at our next meeting. I'm just reviewing our most recent minutes with them. And once I have their sign off, I hope to have something. Is our next meeting tomorrow?
No, we're having some, we met today, and things are getting pushed around. I'm trying to reschedule till Monday.
Okay.
Because I'm waiting for the clerk to give me some times back for Monday.
Okay, well, I will definitely have something more substantive on Monday. Thank you.
That's fine, because I like to run efficient meetings and, and keep things rolling here. Because trying for a meeting next Monday, we have advertised public meetings for November 2nd and November 3rd at 6 p.m. Alderman Boyd will probably be running those. My schedule doesn't permit me to make those evening meetings, but I'll try. And so that's coming up for next week. And we also have one scheduled for next Thursday. That could change as depending upon what we do and how things go, but we're trying to keep everyone going. At this point, I'll recognize the president and his chief, Mary Goodman, to report on the website we have set up now for the public and also going over the portal. So, Mr. President, please proceed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Chairman, if you would, at your indulgence, could I first cover the tentative schedule? And
I'm sorry, I have my notes here, and actually, this is last week's thing. I should have scribbled them on this one. We are trying to put a schedule together, and we've been working on trying to make this thing, as I guess tight and and slimline it, trimline it down to make this thing move along so we can make all the dates that we are under legal obligation to cover. So please cover the schedule, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Members of the committee, at the request of the chairman, we have the schedule laid out that outlines, the important dates between now and the time in third reading and final passage of the bill, Board Bill 101. So first thing is, we've set up the website and portal. You're going to hear more about that from Mary Goodman in a minute. And what we're doing now between October 27th and Monday, December the 1st, we are working to put the first draft of the map together. Again, it will be a first draft. Part of what we're working to capture in that first draft is to keep neighborhoods together as much as possible, and also to develop as many minority preference wards as possible to assure that we adhere to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which is the most important thing in doing this map at this point. So that'll happen by November the 1st, which is Monday. Between November the 1st and November the 16th, we will be engaged really heavily in community engagement and public comments, and collecting any revisions from board members and community leaders and community members and neighborhood organizations as possible. And then on November 17th and November 18th, the chairman has agreed to set aside the 17th and the 18th for committee hearings to adopt any changes to the board bill and any final amendments that we would make on the map. That'll be handled on November 17th and November 18th. November 19th, we're expecting to second read the bill before the Board of Aldermen. On November 23rd and November 24th, we're setting aside those dates to perfect the board bill. So if we can perfect it all on November 23rd, it'll just be November 23rd. But if for whatever reason we want to take multiple board meetings to perfect it, we'll have a full board meeting on November 23rd and November 24th. We will third read and finally pass the bill on December 3rd, which gives us plenty of time for the mayor to sign it and anything that has to happen on the back end of the board bill being adopted. So it'll be on November the 3rd, it'd be third read and final pass. So just to recap that, between now and Monday, I'm going to be reaching out and talking to starting with all of the committee members, and then some non-committee members that we feel like we need to get to before Monday. So if you see a call or text from myself or Tom, that's what it's about, so that we can capture any information that you may have to assure that we have as much factored into that first map as possible. On November the 1st, which is Monday, we're going to release that first map. And again, it's important for everybody to understand it is a draft. It is not the final map by no stretch of the imagination. Matter of fact, we're gonna look at a way to stamp draft across the front of it so people won't say this is it, right? So between November 1st and November 16th, really heavy community engagement and collecting any information from committee members and non-committee members and people throughout the community, even business organizations, association, anything we need to refine that map. And then on the 17th and the 18th, unless we can just do it all on the 17th, but on the 17th and the 18th, we will encompass all of those changes into whatever that final map will be. And then on the 19th, second read it, 23rd, 24th, we will perfect it. And then on the 3rd, third reading and final pass the board bill. And then Mary has an update on the website, the portal, and some community engagement pieces that we have planned also. Mary?
I'll go ahead and share my screen for anybody who hasn't seen the website yet. I believe the clerk sent it out to the full board today. So you should all have it. This webpage went live on Monday. It's kind of the go-to place to see everything about redistricting. Has a little bit of overview about what our plan is, Board Bill 101. Explains a brief overview of what redistricting is, but one of the biggest pieces on this is the place for people to submit their comments. It also has all of our public hearing information and every single upcoming meeting we have. At the bottom, there's some resources for people to see the St. Louis City data and then view all of our meetings. To submit your comments, you just click submit your comments online. Takes you to this web page where they can put their name, address, email address, and whatever their suggestion is or comment. And then for optional choices here, we put race and household income. Any draft map we have, we will also host on this redistricting page. And there's
Mary, we're
also
not
a
seeing
link
the
to it
comment
on
page.
the Board of Alderman's homepage as well. As for community engagement, we've reached out to several neighborhood
Hey,
organizations.
Mary, I think Alderwoman Navarro said she couldn't see the comment page.
I'm sorry, I think the screen share didn't, if you were trying to show us the comment page, it opened up probably in a different tab, so we weren't able to see it. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, okay. Here, that's smart. Let me click on it again. Can you see it now?
Yes.
So this is the comment page. They put their name, address, email address, suggestions. As for community engagement, we've reached out to a lot of neighborhood organizations already and are working to get this information out to as many people as we can. We've been sharing it all over social media, and we're going to continue to push that out. So if you guys have social media pages, please share it, posting it on Nextdoor. We're reaching out to the radio stations to get the word out on the radio and STL TV to have them do a PSA of sorts. We are looking to reach out to advertise in all the major newspapers in the area. And we've requested some of the major news TV outlets to post the information on their website. We are also going to reach out to St. Louis Public Schools to see if they will send home a copy of the flyer with their students or send it out in their e-blast to the parents so parents can see it. We also are going to be sending it out to all city employees via the community email system.
Hey,
And I'm open to any.
Mary, talk to them about how many neighborhoods and how many residents are represented on Nextdoor.
There's 86,000 people on Nextdoor. So
All
it
of
reaches.
All of which are St. Louis City residents, which is
Right.
really important.
Correct. So we put the information out on Nextdoor and we're going to continue to share it on there. So if you guys post in your neighborhoods, we are trying to reach as many people as possible. So any suggestions you may have for people to send this to, we're going to try to reach out to some local influencers on social media to try to get them to push that out there. But we just want to get as many comments as we can related to the proposed mass redistricting.
Mary, can you cover how many comments we have already since you turned it up?
I think we've received about 20. We've received about 20 comments online so far.
And
that's
just in the short time that we made it live. So it's
right. Yeah.
Really was a good turnaround. Really good turnout just making it live.
Yes. I think that's pretty much where all I have on that.
All right. Would you like to just give them a general idea of what some of those first 20 look like?
Majority of the comments so far are people saying, please keep the neighborhoods together. That's the overall theme so far. A lot of people are saying, it's confusing and complicated if I have one alderman, but my neighbor across the street has a different alderman. A lot of people say it's complicated when their neighborhood organization stretches between 3 different wards with 3 different aldermen and 2 different police districts. So I think there's a lot of, that's what a lot of people are saying. And I think that that's duly noted. So whatever we can do to try to keep all the neighborhoods together as much as possible. I don't think it's possible that we can do it all across the board, but we can do our best to do as much as we can.
All right, excellent. Mr. Chairman, I think that completes our update. And then again, I'll be reaching out, we're starting with the committee members. We have a couple scheduled for later today, but we'll be working all the way through the weekend, all the way through Monday, making ourselves available for whenever the committee members can meet to go over everything.
All right. I'm talking to the clerk, so we have a time for Monday morning. I'll announce it at the end of when we adjourn. Having been through this once, and you've been through it a few times, a few of us have been through it. I can say that what we're doing here is unprecedented in the world of redistricting the wards of St. Louis City. The last time I was engaged in this, the first time I saw a map was in a dark room with a screen. I was there with myself and the chairperson saying, here's your ward, this is what we want to do to it. The next time I saw the map was at a meeting. The public never saw these maps. The public was never engaged in any of this in my last almost 19 years here. What we're doing is trying to make sure that, as I stated at our first meeting with this hasn't been done for over 107 years. We are creating a new city of St. Louis with our 14 wards. Everything that existed in the past is gone. We are creating a whole new concept of how the city is going to be governed with 14 less aldermen. And I want to, Mary, setting all this up and the president and I have been working with Tom and Mary, trying to make sure that my goal as chairman of this committee is to make sure that every neighborhood can stay as whole as it possibly can. I was very fortunate to grow up and still live in one of the finest neighborhoods in the city, if not the United States. We all take pride in our homes and our life here. And I think everyone else does in the neighborhoods they live in. Having been in mine for almost 60 plus years, my reason for becoming an alderman was about the neighborhood where I grew up in. I wanted other people to experience a life that I was fortunate enough to have. And that is what we need to do to have neighborhoods represented wholly. Having a neighborhood with 3 aldermen at a meeting is sometimes just doesn't function properly. And we're going to try and avoid that as much as we possibly can. That is the reason for community engagement, trying to find out who the strongest neighborhood organizations are, who's involved, and the neighborhoods that don't have that, how do we get them involved? We tie them to a stronger neighborhood, and hopefully they can learn from that, and we can move this whole project forward. So again, I applaud everyone so far in all this work, and sorry for rescheduling meetings, but to me, we shouldn't have a meeting unless there's something to be said. I don't have a meeting for the sake of a meeting. That's why we're rescheduling tomorrow's meeting, and we want to make these engaging. We want to keep people's attention. We want to make them feel involved. We want this to be a process that when we look back that we can all be proud of. And I think that in the long run, the city will be proud of, because this is, we're changing years and years of doing things behind closed doors. This is very, very open. With that, I'm going to go through the committee for questions or comments by seniority. Alderman Boyd, do you have any questions or comments, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No comments. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alderman Davis, you have your hand up. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to compliment the care that you're taking in this process. So it's been difficult for us with the changing of the dates of meetings, but I understand why now. And I thank you for explaining that to us, because there's no reason to be talking or doing something that is going to confuse the public. We need to be as prepared when we're meeting and discussing things as possible. I also wanted to share that the flyer that was sent out, I'm going to use it this weekend. I have like 6 events going on. So I'll be passing that flyer out at all those events so that residents can be aware of the process. But I'd like to ask you to take that flyer and remove the center section out of it and put the dates for the public hearings on it and then redistribute it. Because we all can help get this out even to that closer population. You know, the neighborhood organizations and those folks are really focused, and we want to make sure we get that information to them. Other than that, I agree with my subcommittee on the things that we're going to be presenting, and I think that we're going to bring some things to the committee for consensus that you'll be pleased with. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mara. Alderman Davis. Alderman Kodar, any questions or comments, sir?
No questions.
Alderwoman Boyd. Please
No
unmute.
question. No
All right.
question.
Thank you very much. Alderman Muhammad, are you with us?
I am. I have no questions, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Alderman Oldenburg is in flight right now to Texas, I believe, for his job. So I doubt that he can join us there. Alderwoman Martin.
Hi, I was just wondering what why some neighborhoods were contacted and others haven't been.
President Reed, please. You can
Yeah,
speak to
I called you this morning. So I think.
But I sent my email in, it's like within 5 minutes of receiving the email request for all the neighborhood association, the heads of a neighborhood association.
Oh, you're talking about
contact information.
You're talking about for attending neighborhood meetings or what?
Well, I just heard that some neighborhoods have been contacted already.
I don't know I'm not sure what you're talking about. You mean neighborhoods for neighborhood meetings or neighborhood, what contacted?
Well, why did we send in our neighborhood contact information?
You're talking about to schedule neighborhood meetings with neighborhoods just to talk about redistricting.
So we're going to have a map in a week and we haven't contacted the neighborhood associations.
Did you, I don't know if you missed the part where I said we're going to have a draft map that we're going to be talking to the committees to put a draft map together. We also will have meetings between the November 1st through the November 16th, where we will be taking in questions and comments from all the neighborhoods and people from throughout the city. There are roughly 79 neighborhoods throughout the city of St. Louis. We have, we're doing, we've also sent it out through Nextdoor, which most neighborhoods are represented throughout Nextdoor. Over 80,000 people that are part of Nextdoor. So we're doing everything we can to reach out to neighborhood organizations. Now, you can help us if there are neighborhood organizations that you would like us to reach out.
I sent that information in with the contact emails, and I just heard your staff person say that they've begun outreach to neighborhood associations. So I'm just wondering.
Not beginning outreach to neighborhood organizations. We've been reaching out to neighborhood organizations. When she says beginning outreach, it probably began when you sent the email in.
But
so
mine haven't been contacted.
We've sent us the information, or we'll look at your information and reach back out.
I already sent it in.
All right, we will reach out to them again, Alderwoman. I don't know what.
Well, no, I'll reach out to them again. They haven't been contacted.
Okay, if they haven't been contacted, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
We're patting ourselves on the back for being so damn transparent here. That's about all we've done. Patted ourselves on the back. Read documents.
Hello.
Chairman.
All right.
Let's all calm down a little.
Mr. Chairman.
I'm not gonna, let me take over right now.
Okay.
We're doing our best to reach out to everyone.
Exactly.
And I'm not hurting myself by trying to pat myself on the back. This is not about me or any of us here.
But why would we not send it all out at the
have
same
the floor.
time? I don't know why we're picking and choosing some neighborhoods over others.
That's not being done.
Your email contact
That's
information.
not being
Put
done.
it in an email and you send it.
Alderwoman, I'm offended by that. That's not being done. That is just not factual. It's not true. That's
I was
not,
just told that it started.
that's not factual, not true. And I'm offended as a member of the board that you are
Right. Okay.
attempting
Last
to
time I
say
checked,
that.
let me take over.
All right.
I'll
go
just
ahead,
rewind
Mayor.
the video and watch again.
All right.
All right. There's no precedent. We're not being preferential to any neighborhoods over any other neighborhoods. You
Exactly.
cannot keep everyone at once.
Exactly.
We're going through it as best we can. We'd appreciate your patience and understanding.
But you also could just put them in an email and send it all at one time and say you're contacting neighborhood associations.
Apparently,
Otherwise, I don't know why we're sending this information. Then I was told to resend it. Then I was told they'd contact them again, but they've never been contacted. So I'm just looking for clarification on what the process is for contacting neighborhoods.
well,
Mr. Chairman, we're reaching out to every single neighborhood organization, any neighborhood organization in the city of St. Louis. Every last one of them are represented in Nextdoor. So every single neighborhood organization has had access to this information because we put it
The
out.
neighborhood association
We're
presidents
continuing.
may not be on Nextdoor. A lot of people don't like Nextdoor, but they still
we're continuing.
represent, they're still elected by their boards of the neighborhood
right.
association.
Which neighborhood organizations would you like us to make sure they've been contacted, Alderwoman?
All of them. I was sent an email. First of all, we were told we were sent an email asking for the information, which no one I talked to had received that information. So we finally got the email and I sent that information in right away. Mount Pleasant, the Patch, Holly Hills, Boulevard Heights, and Carondelet.
Okay. Well, I'm writing those down. We'll make sure that someone, if they've all been, everyone is going to be contacted. If we haven't, we will. This is, again.
Mr. Chairman.
You have your hand up. Yes, Alderwoman, please proceed.
As a committee, one of the things that we're going to be doing throughout this process is discussing process and procedure. And so the president, they've just developed some tools to contact people and give information. May I make a recommendation on, because I don't think any of our neighborhoods have been contacted yet. One of the contact processes has been Nextdoor, but for the next step of contact, because in grassroots engagement, you must use a minimum of 3, preferably 5 different ways to connect with people. So could we just suggest that we mail to every one of the organizations listed with the city of St. Louis and also double check with the alderman's list. That's why I made the recommendation to go through planning, because they already have that information. They have the maps of the neighborhoods, they have everything, the contact people, all of that. And so, and they've also done some grouping of neighborhoods that are next to each other and their likeness of operating. So that's just the next step.
Yeah.
And so hopefully we can just go ahead and do the mass mailing to every neighborhood organization. And if they have an email, send them an email. So now that way we'd be up to 3 points of engagement, and we'll think of a couple of more as we move on. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if you will, I think the neighborhood contact the Alderwoman is referring to is the information that was given to the Alderman from the 22nd to begin coalescing this information on neighborhoods, which he talked about in his update, and he said that he's putting that information together. So the Alderman from the 22nd may be able to bring some clarity to the question that the Alderman.
Certainly, he has his hand up. I'm calling on him next, if you would. Alderman from 22nd, please proceed.
Yes, thank you. And I want to thank all my colleagues for sending in the neighborhood information. And you're exactly right. As I said, I'm synthesizing the information. My plan was over the next couple of days is sending an email out to everybody, letting them know about all our public hearings and directing them to the website that Mary just talked about for comments. So that's the plan, making sure that they're all aware of the process, what's going on, get them engaged so that we can have a healthy debate about this whole process. And as the Alderman from the 11 said, and continue to be transparent. Definitely nothing nefarious going on. I don't want anybody to feel slighted that a neighborhood organization have been contacted. I know the president's office may be making certain contacts with people and meet with people, but I have a list that's probably over 100, contact individuals. So that's my update. And again, I'm gonna try to get this information out over the next couple of days to every organization to have an email for. And again, thank you everybody who's been participating.
All right. Thank you, sir. And we're going back. I see some hands up, but the Alderman Vaccaro, actually, you're next anyhow. So go. You have your hand up. Go ahead, sir.
No, I didn't really have anything. When you went down the list, you jumped over me and I just mentioned.
We saw you napping and thought you wouldn't notice. So
no, I wasn't napping. I was actually awake, and my friends were texting me going, "You must be invisible." And I thought, well, no, I don't have anything. I did want to comment and say, I appreciate everybody, the president and Alderman Boyd and yourself and everyone that's working on this. And it is going to be full of complaints. And most likely, no matter how hard everybody works and the best we do, it'll still probably end up finding people mad or going to court or whatever. It's just, but after sitting through the last one that went so smooth, I appreciate, and some people don't get the work that goes into this, but to try to make it a fair and open process. But anyway, I just want to say thanks to everyone. And Joe, who usually Alderman Vollmer, who recognized me at every meeting, crushed me by.
The only time I try to recognize is when I'm in public. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I apologize for the slide.
You're the best.
Okay, all right. We're moving on. It was Alderman Navarro. You're our next on our seniority list. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you. Just one question, maybe a request. So one, just the comment form, and I appreciate that we've got a website up and there is a place for people to go in and put in comments. So I guess two questions about that. One, so at what point will, so on Monday, a map will also be available on that website? Is that,
yes,
that's the plan? Okay. And
it'll be after our meeting, yes.
Okay. And
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm out of order. Yeah, I'm muting my mic and I'm muting my mic and my video. Sorry.
Go ahead, Alderman, please proceed.
And then my other question was regarding the public comments. Is that accessible to the members of the committee? Like, is that in a Google form that could be shared, or how will we be able to review those comments as they're coming in?
That I'll have to redirect you to Mary. She's more technically. Mary, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. I can just generate maybe a weekly report or some kind of Google Doc to share with you guys. And if at any point you want to see them, just contact me and I'll gladly share them. But to keep it more organized,
okay, that
just
would
put
be
it in
great.
like a shared doc. Sure.
And then I think, I guess part of my request, if I can, is that in terms of the feedback, it would be great. So do we have I can't remember if on that form it says like what ward do you currently live in, or do we request an address or anything? It would be nice to look at that and be able to see, are we hearing from a lot of people in one particular part of the city or one particular neighborhood, so that if we realize, a week into this, we haven't heard from anybody, on that sheet, we can make sure that we're doing outreach engagement. So one, it would be great to be able to know what parts of the city people are logging in from. And
I believe the address is a required field. So if you don't fill that required field out, you cannot proceed past that point.
Okay, great. So we've got that on there. So then I would just say, like, if I don't know if this is Mary or if it's the committee or who it would be, but if we can be monitoring that, just to see, like, are there any gaps, so that will help inform future engagement. And I think because we do, I mean, I appreciate that, you know, there hasn't been community engagement really in terms of redistricting in the past. I would just say, I think these days our community, our constituents expect a lot more, and we do generally engage them on a lot of different issues, you know, and whether it is through online forums or, you know, Zoom meetings or whatever it is. So I think the expectation is also probably just higher than it was 10 years ago. And this is a really tight timeline. I realize there's not really anything we can do about that at this point, but, you know, I mean, I've worked with groups who have spent, you know, 6 months getting feedback on a neighborhood playground. And so we're giving people kind of 2 weeks to get in on this. So I think the more transparent we can be with the process and keeping the committee members, I guess that would be my request is, you know, when an email does go out or when these flyers go out, if there's some way for all of us to know, okay, this is the outreach that has been done, so that if we need to supplement that in any way, but it's just like, if we don't find out for a week, now there's only a week left in the process, and you know, neighborhood groups may not have a meeting coming up or whatever. So I just think the more detailed we can have in terms of what the community engagement looks like, that will be really helpful, given that we have such a small window in which to hear from folks. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Alderman. Yes. Yeah, the required, the address to us was very important when putting this together, naturally, to make sure that we're not wasting our time with comments from people. You know, the same person is sending in. So a required field, if you do not put the address in, you cannot make a comment, is how it works. So then that will give us the data we need to see what parts of the city are participating. And if that shows we need to reach out to other parts somehow, you know, to engage them, we'll do our best. But thank you very much for those comments. At that, we go to Alderman Middlebrook.
Thank you,
Any
Mr. Chairman. I
questions?
have no questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have any questions. I'll be looking forward to getting the additional flyers. I have been putting the flyer out that I received at the meeting we did on Monday. Thank you for coming on with that. So whenever you get the new flyer, I agree with Alderwoman Davis that it has as much information about the upcoming meetings, the public meetings, as possible. Then I'll be ready to push that out.
All right. Thank you very much. Alderwoman Boyd, you have your hand back up. I recognize you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess what I'm hearing, and I'm at a point in my life, and so people will probably laugh, but I'm at the age, I'm not for pointing fingers at people and attacking. I'm just for trying to fix things. And so as Alderwoman Hubbard said, I did, as soon as I got that information, it went on our next door. We did a vast email piece. And so now we're going to have canvassers to knock on doors and give the information and talk to people. And so I hear people saying, if we could get this and we can get that. And so I guess my question is, maybe Alderwoman Navarro needs to connect with Mary Goodman. So when they get the information, she can be the lead on getting that information and making sure she tracks to know who actually had got the information and filled it out. And so I understand that the president's office is all over the place and they're trying to get in order with this. And so, you know, the president, you know, he came to our meeting and he talked to our people. And I know he came to Alderwoman Hubbard's meeting, talked to her people. And so I think we can invite him to meetings to discuss the redistricting to people, as he has been trying to explain to us. But I just think we need to be at a point in our life where we start trying to fix the problems and not be the problems. And so if we could just start working together and look at and say, well, how can I make it better? Because as everybody has been saying, this is the first time this has ever been done. And when Alderman Vollmer talked to me and he said, it's just like you got a paintbrush and you wiping it clean and you starting all over. So it's not as easy as people thinking it is. And it's not going to be easy where you could just say, oh, we just going to grab a neighborhood and put people in there and that's how it works. It's not going to be that easy. So it's a lot of work that I feel that we're going to have to do. And we're going to do a lot of head scratching because we're trying to figure out what's best for our communities. So I think as older people, we know our communities, we know our organizations, we know what's going on. And so we have to kind of help get that information out. I'm not saying that one person do it better than the other person. I'm just saying we just have to ensure that our communities and our organizations are a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman. All right. With that, if no one else, I see no other hands. Oh, Alderwoman Martin, you have your hand back up? Or did you forget to take it down? Alderwoman Martin?
Thank you. I guess, I mean, a couple issues here. One, we are the committee, and I feel like we've logged onto these meetings and we're just kind of being told what's happening. I don't think we've had the discussion to talk about how we are going to disseminate the information. So that's one issue that I have with this. We're just being told. We were asked to send in the neighborhood information, and everything so far in these meetings is like, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I'm just wondering, are we going to actually, as committee members, have a say in this process?
I believe we do. What is, as far as, setting up the website to stay in contact, disseminate information, we're trying to make everything available we can to get people engaged in this process. As far as the map, that the rough draft that's going to come up is going to be the first thing on Monday. That's why I want to wait till Monday to get it right. We're trying to make it, it's not going to be the map. It is a map that'll try and hold neighborhoods together, and then also try and meet the Voting Rights Act of 1965 qualifications. And it's going to have some legal things. We need to set those legal parameters. Once you see it, trying to move things around, that's going to be more the meat of these this whole process. As far as you being involved, and that will all be involved in that. As far as getting the information out, I believe Alderman Boyd, who's taken that job on, is getting everything out, and will try and engage your neighborhood organizations. I mean, it's in the my past experience with this is neighborhood organizations never had any input in this. So it's, this is all done. That I'm looking at other people saying on, other members. Yeah, there's questions and comments from other aldermen who are not on the committee asking, yes, we will be reaching out to everyone we can. And as far as the information we're using to do this, yes, that will all be published also. The information is all built into the new software. Everything we have, and why we're doing it, it will be open and legal. So as far as one of the reasons not to have another meeting tomorrow and push it off to Monday is so we can get more contact in. So
I think the issue is, I don't think anyone's questioning transparency necessarily. I think it's more of, more of the process and the short timeline.
Well,
so, if we're asked for the information for the neighborhoods, and then we hear some have been contacted, some haven't, there's not a whole lot of time left. I think that's where I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I know that's where my frustration is.
Well, since we started this process, Alderman Boyd, I think it was in the second meeting, he took this over. He's been reaching out, has not been getting a lot of contact back. He stated that, I believe three meetings ago, where he's trying to get all the
none of us had ever received an email about it. So that's why nobody responded, because we had never received
there's actually a problem with, if I remember correctly, the first email blast or whatever process he gave out was not the proper one, or he was given the wrong thing. It didn't reach everyone. He stated that publicly at the meeting. It was getting the right one by the clerk, I believe, and that one I believe everyone has gotten. Time is time. Yeah, that's why I have no problem having as many meetings as we have to have every week when we have something to do. We need the time to have a better meeting on Monday, as opposed to just sitting here and flapping our, tomorrow. Let's get all the information we can. So that's what this is about. That's why we stated the schedule today, the timeline of when we are trying to get this done. And I will schedule every and all meetings we can. We technically have 4 meetings next week. We have 2 committee hearings and 2 committee with public input. Everyone is Mary and the president stated, we're reaching out through every source we can. And sometimes a tight timeline I've found in some of my past goings on here, you keep people's attention. If we started this, well, we couldn't start it because we didn't have the information back in typically we have this information in April, the census information, and will give us a great timeline, but we got some of it in late August, most of them September. Trying to schedule meetings. We're going to keep this as engaging as possible and get everything we can done. And I think this being on the forefront of everyone's mind at this point allows us, it's not going to be pushed back. This isn't July saying, well, I got to go on vacation. I got to do this. I do this. Well, we'll get back to that later. Sometimes, I work best under pressure. I don't go Christmas shop until December 23rd. It makes me perform better. But that's everyone, we're going to do what we have to do. We've taken an oath. We represent our constituents. I take pride in that, always have, and I'll make sure that I can do everything to get everything to them through this process. And I believe we all will, because that is our job. Any questions or comments? None hearing. Okay. With that, we have confirmed with the clerk. We will be meeting this Monday, November 1st at 11 a.m. And we also have November 2nd at 6 p.m. public, November 3rd at 6 p.m. And then we also scheduled for the November, I'll get my little calendar out, the 4th at 11 a.m. If we need one on the 3rd, we'll call one for the 3rd. But we'll get the rough draft out, and the big word, not just draft, Mr. President, should be rough. That'd be R-U-F-F, R-U-F-F, B-R-A-U-G-H-T.
Yeah, done.
And because that's what everybody's waiting to see.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, once it's out there, then we're going to get a lot of community engagement. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And people who maybe have been not paying attention to this will pay attention. And I think we'll get a lot done in a very, very, very short time frame. What's that point? So
Right.
if there's nothing else, I will excuse the absent Alderman for necessary absence. And at that point, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn to November 1st at 11 a.m.
I move that
Second.
move.
I'll second that.
I second it.
Any previous roll?
In previous role.
All right, with that, we have moved to adjourn the meeting to November 1st at 11 a.m. Everyone have a good weekend, or we'll see you Friday morning. Forgot about that. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you.
All right, thank you, y'all.